People always said I had the perfect life. They were not wrong. My home was full of love and laughter. My husband was kind. My children were happy. My days were quiet, but full. But sometimes, when life feels too perfect, something dark can come and break it. I did not see it coming. I did not expect it. I thought my life was safe. I was wrong. I am Michelle. I have 2 children and a husband. His name is Benjamin. He is loved by many people in our town. He is on the radio in Austin, Texas. He speaks about music and weather. He makes people laugh. They say he has a good heart. And I believed that too. I loved him for many years. He was my best friend. He was my partner in everything. I met Benjamin when I was young. He smiled at me across the street one day. He asked if I wanted to have coffee. We talked for hours. He made me feel seen. We dated for 1 year. Then he asked me to marry him. I said yes. I thought we would grow old together. I never had a doubt. We bought a small house in Austin. It had 2 bedrooms and a small backyard. We had a dog named Max. We had our first child after 2 years. Then we had our second child. I stayed at home with the kids. I cooked. I cleaned. I helped them with school. Benjamin worked at the radio station. In the evening, we sat on the porch and talked. Life was not big, but it was full. Benjamin always made me feel special. He brought me flowers. He kissed my forehead when I was tired. He told me I was the best part of his day. He said, "I love coming home to you." His voice was warm. His words were soft. I believed every one of them. Last Sunday, something changed. It was a normal day. The kids were outside. I was making lunch. Benjamin walked in. He looked different. His eyes were quiet. His smile was small. I asked, "Are you okay?" He said, "Yes, just a little tired." But I could feel something was wrong. Later that night, he asked me to sit with him. The kids were in bed. The house was quiet. He looked at me. I saw fear in his eyes. He held his hands tight. I sat down next to him. I waited. "I saw someone today," he said. I asked, "Who?" He said, "Her name is Emily." I did not know who Emily was at first. Then I remembered. Benjamin told me about her long ago. She was his girlfriend before me. They broke up. She moved away. He said it was over. He said she was just the past. I never asked about her again. "She came back to Austin," he said. "She lives here now. I saw her at the coffee shop." I said nothing. I looked at the floor. We talked, he said. It was only for 10 minutes, but something happened inside me. My heart started to beat fast. I looked at him. I did not speak. I thought I moved on, he said. But when I saw her, I felt something. I don't know what it means. I don't want to lie to you. I felt the air leave my chest. I could not breathe well. I never stopped thinking about her, he said. Not every day, but she was always there. I closed my eyes. I held my knees. I wanted to scream, but I was quiet. I'm not saying I want to leave, Benjamin said. I love you. I love the kids. But Emily, I never really said goodbye to her. I said, Do you want to see her again? He said, I think I need to. I stood up and walked to the kitchen. My hands were shaking. I poured water but did not drink it. I looked out the window. The sky was dark. My heart was dark too. He came to the kitchen. He said, I want to be honest with you. I don't know what I'm doing. But I had to tell you. I asked, Are you planning a life with her? He said nothing. I asked again, Benjamin, are you thinking about a life with her? He looked at me. His eyes were red. He said, I don't know. That night, we did not talk more. We slept in the same bed, but it felt like two different worlds. I turned my back to him. He did not touch me. I closed my eyes and cried quietly. The next day, I made breakfast like always. I put food on the table. The kids laughed. Benjamin smiled like nothing happened. But everything had changed. I looked at him across the table. He was still my husband, but not fully mine anymore. After he left for work, I sat on the couch. I looked at the family photo on the wall. We were smiling in the picture, but now my smile was gone. In the evening, Benjamin came home with flowers. He gave them to me. I did not take them. I did not meet her, he said. I could not. I sat in the car. I looked at the door, but I thought of you. I thought of our life. I looked at him, and I drove away, he said. But I still think about her. I did not answer. I walked past him. I picked up toys from the floor. I cleaned the table. I did all the normal things. But inside, I was broken. That night he asked, Can we talk? I said, What more is there to say? I'm confused, he said. I'm hurt, I replied. He sat down. He said, I'm sorry. I did not want sorry. I wanted my life back, but I knew it was gone. Now every day feels long. I do not know what he is thinking. I do not know if he will meet her again. He says he loves me, but he also feels something for her. I want to be strong. I want to fight for my family, but I don't want to beg. I don't want to live with a man who loves another woman. I look at my children. They are small. They need both of us. But I also need peace. I need truth. I don't know what to do. Maybe he will stay. Maybe he will go. Or maybe he will never fully choose. And that is the hardest part. I wait each day. I listen to his voice. I watch his face. I wonder, am I still his home? I don't have an answer yet. Before I share the rest of my story, I need to know, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me, understands me, gives me strength. The next few days felt slow and heavy. I moved through them like someone underwater. I woke up, made breakfast, packed the kids' lunch, folded laundry, and cooked dinner. I did everything I always did, but something inside me had changed. My hands worked, but my heart stayed quiet. I smiled at the children, but it was not the same smile. It was smaller, weaker, tired. Benjamin acted normal. He helped with the dishes. He asked about the kids' homework. He kissed me before bed, but I could feel it. His thoughts were not all here. His eyes looked far sometimes. His voice was soft, like he was careful with every word. I could tell he was trying, but trying was not the same as truth. I stopped asking questions. I was scared of the answers, but I watched him closely. Every time he picked up his phone, I looked. Every time he said he had to go out, I listened to how he said it. I wanted to believe him, but my heart was unsure. Something between us was now broken. I did not know if we could fix it. One afternoon, Benjamin said he was going to meet an old friend for lunch. I wanted to ask who, but I didn't. He kissed me goodbye. I stood at the window and watched him drive away. I waited until his car turned the corner. Then I sat down on the floor. I held my knees and closed my eyes. I felt a storm inside me. Was he going to see her? Was he lying again? He came home 3 hours later. He brought groceries. He smiled and said, "I saw Paul today." He says hello. I just nodded. I said, "That's nice." I did not know what was real. I was tired of guessing. That night, after the kids were in bed, I sat outside on the back steps. The air was cold. I pulled a sweater over my shoulders. Benjamin came out and sat next to me. We looked at the sky. The stars were clear. He said, "You've been quiet. I said. I don't have much to say. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I haven't seen Emily again. I wanted to. I almost did. But I didn't. I looked down at my feet. Do you still want to? I asked. He was honest. Yes, he said. I stood up. My voice shook. Then you should go see her. Just stop making me live in the middle. Say what you want. Choose something. Benjamin looked up at me. His eyes were full of worry. I don't want to hurt you, he said. I said, You already have. I walked back inside and closed the door. My heart was loud in my chest. I stood in the kitchen and held the counter. I felt small. I felt alone, even with my husband outside the house. The next morning, I took the kids to school. On the way home, I saw Emily. I knew it was her. She stood outside a cafe holding a coffee cup. She was tall, with brown hair and a soft smile. She looked happy. She looked like she belonged. I slowed the car for just a moment. She didn't see me. I kept driving. My hands were tight on the wheel. Back at home, I sat on the sofa. I looked around the room. Everything was in its place. The photos, the books, the toys. But nothing felt safe. This was our home, but it did not feel warm anymore. I missed that feeling. I missed the days when I never had to think about who he was thinking about. When Benjamin came home that night, I looked at him closely. I said, I saw her today. He blinked, surprised. Did she see you? He asked. No, I said. But I saw enough. He sat down. I haven't talked to her in a few days, he said. I nodded. I believe you, I said. But that doesn't fix how I feel. He looked down at the floor. What do you want me to do, Michelle? I sat across from him. I want you to be sure, I said. Not today, not this minute, but soon. I can't live like this forever. He said, I am trying. I said, trying is not choosing. He looked at me with tired eyes. I know. We sat there in silence. The clock ticked on the wall. A car passed outside. Somewhere in the house, a door creaked. The night felt long. In the next few days, I wrote nothing. I called no one. I just watched. I waited. Benjamin stayed close to home. He was quiet, kind, careful. He tried to help more. He cooked dinner one night. He took the kids to the park on Saturday. He brought me tea in the evening. I knew he was trying, but deep inside, I kept thinking, is he doing this for me? Or is he trying to forget her? One night we sat on the couch. He said, "I miss how we used to be." I looked at him. "Then why did you let someone else come into your heart?" He said, "I didn't mean to." I said, "But you did." He nodded. "I know." Then he said something I wasn't ready for. "I think about a life with her. I don't want to, but it comes into my mind, and I feel guilty." I held my breath. I waited for the pain to pass. It didn't. I stood up. "I need space, Benjamin. I need time," he said. "Are you leaving?" I said, "No, but I don't know if I want to stay like this." He reached out for my hand. I didn't give it. "I love you," he said. I said, "I used to believe that without doubt. Now I don't know what I believe." I stayed quiet for a few days. I needed space, like I told him. But we lived in the same house. There was no real space. I still saw him every day. I still made food. I still helped the kids with homework. I still shared a bed with him at night, but I did not feel close. I turned away when we slept. I did not reach for his hand. He did not reach for mine. Benjamin did not meet Emily again, at least not that I knew. But the silence between us was hard. I could feel him looking at me. I could feel the weight in the air. Every moment felt full of questions. Was he thinking about her? Was he waiting for me to leave? Or was he hoping I would forgive him? One night we sat on the couch after the kids were in bed. I looked at him. He looked tired. I asked, "Do you still love her?" He did not answer right away. Then he said, "I don't know what kind of love it is, but yes, I feel something." My chest hurt. I stood up and walked to the window. I said, "That is not the answer I wanted to hear, but thank you for being honest." He walked over to me. "Michelle," he said, "I do not want to lose you. I want to fix this. I want to stay." I turned to him. "Then stop holding on to her in your heart." He said, "It's not that easy." I said, "It should be." The next morning, I packed a small bag. I told him I was taking the kids to my sister's house for the weekend. He looked sad but did not stop me. I think he knew I needed this time. He kissed the kids goodbye. He looked at me and said, "Please come back." I nodded, but I did not speak. At my sister's house, I felt lighter. The kids played with their cousins. My sister gave me tea and held my hand. I told her everything. She listened quietly. When I finished, she said, "You don't need to rush, but you do need to ask yourself something. Can you live with him knowing he still thinks of her?" I said, "I don't know." She said, "Then stay here until you do." That night, I watched my children sleep on the floor in their sleeping bags. They looked peaceful. I wondered how much they knew. Did they see the change at home? Did they hear the quiet fights? I did not want to hurt them. I did not want to break their family. But I also did not want to live a life full of pain and half-truths. Benjamin called me the next day. He asked if we were okay. I said, "The kids are okay." He was quiet. Then he said, "I miss you." I said, "I miss who you were." He said, "I can be that man again." I said, "I don't know if I believe that." On Sunday night, I drove home. The house was clean. The lights were on. He was waiting at the door. The kids ran to him and hugged him. I walked in slowly. He looked at me. He said, "Thank you for coming back." I said, "This is still my home, but I don't know what it is anymore." We sat down after the kids went to bed. He made tea for both of us. He said, "I didn't call her again." I nodded. He said, "I thought about everything. I want this life. I want you. But I know I broke your heart." I said, "You did." He said, "Can we start again?" I looked at him. I wanted to say yes, but I stayed quiet. That week we lived like two people trying to fix something broken. He helped more. He spoke kindly. He watched me like he was afraid to lose me. I was softer too, but not the same as before. Something inside me had closed. One evening, I saw a letter in the mail. It had no name on the front. I opened it. Inside was a card. Just a simple white card. The message said, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come between you." There was no name, but I knew it was from her. From Emily. I showed it to Benjamin. He read it, then placed it on the table. He said, "I didn't know she sent this." I believed him, but the pain came back again. I said, "She still wants to be part of this." He said, "But I don't want her to be." I said, "But she already is." That night, I sat alone in the living room. I looked at our family photo. I saw the happy faces, the strong love we once had. I touched the frame. I whispered to myself, "What am I going to do?" I did not have an answer. Days passed. Nothing big happened. No fights. No big talks. But also no deep smiles. No real peace. We acted like a couple again. But inside me, the storm was still there. It was quiet, but it had not ended. One day, Benjamin came home with flowers. He gave them to me and said, "I know you don't trust me yet, but I'm not giving up." I took the flowers. I placed them in water. I said, I don't know if I can ever trust you like before. He said. I'll wait. I said. What if I never do? He said. Then I will live with that. I went to bed early that night. I lay down next to him. I closed my eyes. I was tired of thinking, tired of feeling too much. I wanted to wake up and feel nothing, or feel love again, or at least feel sure, but I didn't. I just felt stuck. And that is where I still am, in the middle, between holding on and letting go, between pain and hope, between past and future. I don't know what will happen next, but I do know this. Sometimes love does not break in one loud moment. Sometimes it fades slowly, and you are left standing there, still married, still home, but lost.